Our next guest, everybody, for Titans Up today is Sham. Sham is on a mission to democratize access to hedged investment strategies that is currently privy to only a wealthy few. He has developed Tenjin AI as a product that is easy for everyone to join in on this investment management revolution. We love interviewing investors heavily immersed in the financial world here, so I'm sure we'll get a lot of insights on this specifically. But the focus for this interview is helping people like you understand the financial markets and money from a higher level perspective. So we'll answer questions like, what are market cycles and how could they be used to your advantage? How can the concept of investment management become an ally rather than an unknown force that works against you in the financial markets? And what is the proper view of investment management, wealth management, and money in general that creates more of that which you desire? So without further ado, Sham, welcome to Titans Up today.
Thank you. Thanks, Jacob. Thanks a lot.
Excellent. Now, just introduce yourself a little bit so we can get an understanding of what brought you to where you are today.
Yeah, so hi, Jacob. First of all, thanks a lot for providing me an opportunity to speak to you and through you to your audience. Yeah, so I have about 22 years of experience prior to me jumping on this startup journey. I was working at Morgan Stanley, more on the institutional side. I was on the technology side most, but I was dealing with a lot of these investment management algorithms and tools and how sophisticated investors are capturing the newer technology and modern data and all those different things. So in my mind, I was like, we have to do something different. How to bring this technology to level the investment playing field? Why should only the wealthy few get the opportunities to be smart, savvy investors? Technology is a great level setter. The same technology and data that powers hedge funds are accessible to individual investors thanks to a platform like Tengen that we have developed. So fortunately, I've been supported immensely by my family, my friends, my investors, my team members who joined us over the last 3 years and who believe in our vision to democratize smart, systematic investing. So Tengen is here to make a positive difference in everyone's financial well-being. So I'm excited to leverage my 2 decades of institutional experience in a premier Wall Street firm for the greater benefit of all investors, regardless of their bank balance or retirement account balance. So that's basically what I'm out to create a difference, to make a difference for people. And we have done a great job. We are on the path of where we would like to be, right?
Awesome. It brings a smile to my face. As we were talking about before this, the financial world and being able to create better financial outcomes for people is a very exciting topic. Give us more insight on what this experience would be like. If I was a user of Tengen, what would my user experience be? How would it be better for me and the things that I will be, doing with my money rather than things I could do with my money?
So the first thing is Tengen is a completely autopilot platform, right? So it has all these advanced technologies under the hood. So you don't have to worry about all these complex algorithms that work under the covers, right? So Tengen basically simplifies the whole experience. So you need to be basically investing through the platform. We have tied up with Interactive Broker as our custodian. So Tengen doesn't touch the money, but it only operates on where you're investing. So it is basically directing your investments. Your investments are held in a custodial broker, which is Interactive Broker, and we can tie up with other brokers also. But right now we have tied up with Interactive Broker. So when you open an account with Tengen, you're opening an investment account with Interactive Broker behind the scenes, but Tengen is the vehicle through which your investments are going to be directed. So you invest your investment, whether it's a retirement account, whether it's your personal individual investment account. So you're investing through Tengen, and Tengen basically understands your risk profile, your goal, where you would like to be, what you want this money to grow into, what's your objective, etc. What's your time horizon? From that, it decides what kind of risk it can take, whether you need to be very aggressive or you should be very conservative. Somebody is close to retirement, it would go into a conservative mode. Somebody is very young, you can take a little bit more risk, and so on and so forth. So it understands the risk profile and configures or makes a portfolio and manages the portfolio on an ongoing basis. It's an actively managed investment. And all these investments are systematic in nature. which basically means that we use data and we use algorithms that have been proven from a backtesting point of view to work over the longer horizon. Everything is process driven, which is exactly how institutions like hedge funds do. So we are bringing the power of the systematic, disciplined, process oriented investment within the reach of any everyday investor. You don't need to be a super wealthy $1 million account holder to take advantage of the systematic process. So when you open up a Tenjin account, there are multiple features there which we'll talk about. But one of the primary pillars of Tenjin is the investment management, which is on autopilot. And based on market conditions, like where we are right now, market is really on a downward trend. Tenjin automatically adjusts the profile or the investments to become a little bit more conservative at this point, and then it'll pick up speed when the market becomes a little bit better in terms of bullishness and whatnot. So it does the auto adjustments of the investments, so you don't have to worry about it. So when you invest in Tenjin, you sit back and relax, whereas Tenjin worries about the investments and making sure that your investments are protected, preserved, the capitals are preserved, and the investment grows when the opportunities are there.
And it's Tenjin AI, so a lot of this is artificial intelligence that's feeding back into itself. So let's say, for example, you have one of those early investors, let's say someone my age, 26, and then you have someone who's 72. Does it learn from the balancing of those different, someone with a very conservative profile and the results there into someone with a very more aggressive profile in times like this? How does it continuously learn and create better outcomes?
So the learning process is basically through backtesting of the data. So we have models which takes in a lot of inputs, macroeconomic data, the individual sectors, the stocks. There are a lot of data points that we go with in terms of number of features. In AI, we call it features of the model. So we have more than 100 features that's embedded as part of the model. And then we take those features, go back in time, close to almost 6 years or so. Some of these data are new, like sentiments is more new concept. So we also take the sentiments of the market on stocks. Those are all part and parcel of the model that we build. And we take back in time, we design the algorithm to predict where the market is heading, where the stocks are heading, where the sectors are heading in a close forward-looking time frame. We look at it more, what's the next month is going to be, what's the next 3 months going to be, right? So AI is very good with predicting in a shorter time period to a reasonable extent. It won't be very accurate, but it would be reasonably accurate. So in a shorter time frame, we are predicting and then positioning those portfolio for each individual investor. So if you're a 26-year-old, you could be a little bit more aggressive depending on your time horizon, because you have a lot more time to your advantage before your money is really going to be needed. For example, if it's a retirement account, somebody who is close to 60 needs the money very soon. So we cannot take as much risk. Market has gone down 30% in the last 7 months alone, just this year in NASDAQ, for example. So you don't want a person close to retirement to lose 1/3 of their portfolio in a very short span. And that is really bad for their use of the money. They have to start withdrawing the money at some point. So what we do is look at the age of the person, look at the risk profile. We have a series of questions that we are required to ask based on the regulatory rules. So we ask those questions to determine the risk appetite of the individual investor. And from that, the algorithm is basically set to, okay, Jacob is a very aggressive investor, so we can put him on an aggressive basket. That doesn't mean that we are going to take the money, it's going to lose. The swing is going to be more for an aggressive portfolio. The ups and downs will be more. It's like going on a road which has got ups and downs, whereas somebody who is more conservative is going to be smoother. That basically means that the portfolio is not going to go high or very low. So it would be more stable. So it all depends on the individual's risk appetite. And we do have algorithms that caters to the needs of both conservative investor and very aggressive investors. And all shades in between, like moderate investors are also there.
It's not just the extremes. There's a lot of between and.
Yep, all shades of gray are perfectly fine.
Absolutely. So now with the CPI and inflation and cost of daily goods have been increasing, what are some things that people can do to perhaps become better Tenjin customers and better managers of money and stewards of wealth in their life to create wealth, what are some things that you've learned in your career and through even your work with Tenjin so far that can help people save more money, get more into investing and things of that nature?
Sure, having a methodical approach to investing is key. With Tengen, anyone can invest in a completely automated, market-aware manner and taking advantage of advanced AI algorithm that Tengen is offering. So the first is the discipline part, right? So to keep investing and not stop investing or not pull the money. So if you accelerate only when the market is high, you're buying things at a high, right? So the opportunities that the market presents itself when it's 30% lower is greater. So keep investing in a methodical approach is very key. The second thing is not having investments in passive investment style. There are two classes of schools of thought: invest in index and forget about it. The other one is be market aware, be smart about where the market is. And that's how sophisticated investors invest. They don't just invest in ETFs and say, forget about it. They do invest in different classes of assets. They do invest in high growth stocks when the opportunities are there, and so on and so forth. So Tengen is offering that market awareness. So we are not a passive investment algorithm. We believe in timing the market, meaning you can be very aggressive when the opportunities are there. Like back in 2020, S&P had more than 30% return. A lot of funds actually had 60, 70% return. That's a great opportunity. This is just post-COVID. But then market has been shrinking since November of last year. So we have to be defensive and conservative. And that's a lesson learned, is like being aware of where the market is and being able to preserve the capital and go defensive when the market is not really suitable for a high growth. Just plain and simple, you can't just keep investing in highly aggressive stocks like Tesla, for example. So things do take a downward turn and you need to be a little bit conscious about that. And Tengen's algorithms are designed to be market aware. So it adjusts the speed of your investments based on the current market conditions, not only the market conditions, also the sector has the cyclical nature, like oil was up, oil is down now. Other industries like semiconductor has got also the cyclical nature. So being aware of which sector are great to invest at this particular moment in time is also the other aspects of awareness. So it's not just about market, it's about sector, it's about stocks. See, awareness, it has to be in all the different ranges, and Tengen does that job for you as an investor.
And you mentioned what advanced asset managers and investment managers do, some of the strategies. Is Tengen right now specifically focused on equities, or is it in the future going to look at other sorts of investments or hedging or things of that nature? Of course, it's maybe takes on more risk, but something that someone could take advantage of.
So right now, Tengen is offering equities and fixed income through equity ETF. Basically, it's an ETF. It's like a stock, right? So you can invest in some of these fixed income products, securities through ETFs. So by that, we are able to offer both stocks, asset through stock, basically through ETF, which is basically a basket of stocks underneath it. And through that, we can also offer a fixed income basket for more conservative investors. We don't put fixed income on aggressive investments, but we do have fixed income on the conservative style of investments. In the future, we want to give alternative investments. We are currently working on constructing structured products, basically taking bets on where the market is heading on or where the stock is heading. And based on certain target benchmarks, you get certain dividends or certain outcome on those. So we are working with some broker dealers on that one. In the future, we are also going to be offering real estate based investments, because that needs to be part of anyone's portfolio as a whole. So there are investments that are securitized, and we are actually going to be offering real estate through that product. And we are also talking to some broker dealers in terms of giving venture capital based investing. That's also being democratized now as we speak. So we are going to be offering VC investing even for a non-accredited investor. So one need not be an accredited investor to be able to invest in like venture capital funds. So we want to be able to offer it, of course, to the extent that they can take the risk. So we are going to be offering that. So multiple styles of assets or multiple classes of assets are going to be offered through Tengen, But right now, Tengen is already offering various styles of equity investment, short-term outlook, medium-term outlook, long-term outlook, and so on and so forth. So we have 4 different strategies. We also have crypto strategy, by the way.
Wow.
So for people who believe in crypto, it has definitely come down significantly. Whether it can go back to where it was almost 17 times from just 2020 on alone. So those kind of growth, maybe crypto has it, crypto doesn't. We don't want to take a view on that one. We are completely algo driven. If somebody believes in crypto and they want to have an investment in crypto as part of their portfolio, we are happy to offer the crypto algorithm. But cryptos are not offered through a retirement account. That's from a regulation point of view, that's prevented. Our broker dealer doesn't allow it also. So for non-retirement accounts, crypto algorithms can be applied. So we do have crypto as part of our strategies.
Great to know. That's impressive. You guys have covered a lot of ground there.
Yes. So our algorithms are, like I said, more longer term, which basically means it doesn't trade every day, but it trades on a monthly basis. So it's market aware. So if market were to significantly tank or significantly increase on a short span, it will intervene. But general purpose, it would basically be adjusted on a monthly basis. And there are other strategies which are adjusted on a weekly basis and so on. Crypto is more on a daily basis. It's just short trades by 1 or 2 trades a day, but it has a shorter cycle in terms of its inflection points and whatnot. So crypto is a little bit more tightly managed, but other strategies are managed on a weekly or a monthly basis.
Great. Now, what would you tell someone who thinks that they don't have enough money to get started with investing?
One need not have too much money to start. The key thing is to start, right? And the key thing, as I said before, is the discipline. So the difference between starting in the early 20s and starting in the late 20s or early 30s could mean a night and day difference, particularly for a retirement account. When they're looking at what the account balance is when they are 60, it could really be a 2 or 3 time difference. That 10-year that they had an advantage if someone starts at 20 versus someone starting at 30. It would be a 3 time difference in the, because that's the power of compounding. You know, having a discipline to invest, even if it's a $5,000 a year, $500 a month, if it's too much, $100 a month. So somewhere they need to start, and that's the key thing. Once it's started, market provides opportunities to get a huge discount. Like market is currently, it's like a Black Friday sale of the market right now, 30% off from its peak. S&P is almost 25% down. So market has no way but to go up. It has always gone up. So these are opportunities that people need to, they should not shy away. So I'm reminded of Warren Buffett's quote, market is greedy, be fearful. When the market is fearful, be greedy, right? Market is currently fearful. Go after the market, buy things at a huge discounted value, because pretty much almost all the assets are trading at least a 52-week low right now, all the big names. So the quality stocks are at a discount, and this is a time to invest. And I would say it's not how much you invest, because these investments will compound. So starting early, starting now would be the best advice I would give for someone who is not yet started. But if someone has started and they have the money sitting in their bank, it's a time to invest more into the stock market, I would say. If they are staying in the investment, going defensive would be the best advice I would give. Don't keep investing in the most growth oriented aggressive, because it could go down even more in the next 6 months. Market is still not completely sure where it's heading, but it will eventually come back up. Like I said, it will have to. But right now, putting more money in high growth securities is not a prudent choice. So if you already have the money in there, don't put in like growth, just go defensive. But if you have new money in, go growth, go aggressive, because everything is at a discount and you can get great value on some of these big names. And then if you have not started, start now. Then now is the best time, and don't postpone even a single day. Right. And Tengen takes only 3 minutes to start an account. Right from the point that you download the app to opening an account, within 3 minutes, you have an account. And within 1 day, you can transfer the money in, and you're on the journey of investments, which is going to put you at a faster pace. And like I said, the difference between how this money grows over a long period of time could make a huge difference. And math shows that it's not just Tengen, any investments for that matter, just the compounding aspect of investment is a great incentive in itself.
Now, there's a lot to unpack there that is powerful, but I want to focus on one thing in specific, and that's the mindset that you brought up in regards to what Warren Buffett said. And as you dropped a few other seeds of how you carry that mindset as well. But where does that mindset originate from? Because even if I talk to successful entrepreneurs and people who are building companies, you think there would be the most optimism among those groups, but there's still a lot of confusion and people still get concerned about, oh, what's going to happen over the next 6 months, 1 year. How can people, and where can people go to develop a better mindset? What books did you read or people did you follow? You mentioned Warren Buffett, but so that people can know that these are really great opportunities for wealth. And obviously listening to a podcast like this and hearing your opinion is impactful as well. But
I think just investment platform like Tengen give you the awareness. In Tengen, there is a market section that tells you what the top news are. We hand curate the top news that is very interesting for starters or everyday investor. It's not very complex to understand some of these articles. But just following great investors like Warren Buffett would be a great place. Just following their advice would be the prudent thing. And if you're really looking at just websites like finance.yahoo.com, there are a lot of great articles there that's for free. And people should just get aware of what's going on in the market just to start with. And then once you invest, you will naturally get the interest in it. So if somebody is like not worrying about finances, everyone has to, right? One may be oblivious to what's going on in the market, but if it impacts your finances, if it impacts the long-term growth of where you would be, someone who is 26 doesn't care about their savings as much. But when the same person becomes 45, you have college kids to send to college, you have to worry about 15 years from then to retire and so on and so forth. So there are a lot of other aspects that will come in. Somebody who starts when they are in the early 20s is going to be well positioned to handle all those challenges in the later part of the life. And financially, they'll get the freedom that they desire. So you can do things when you're 45 that you want to do, not because you have a mortgage to pay and you have to keep a job that you don't want to be part of and so on and so forth, right? Investing can give you that leverage. One could just basically get financial freedom to not worry about having a job to pay for mortgages, etc. So I think just being aware, having a platform, some of these things are completely for free. In Tengen, you can just become a customer and get access to these daily updates and all those things. And there are other websites out there that I would say people just need to be glued into. You don't need to pay a single dime to get access to just what's going on in the market and being aware of what's a smart way of investing.
And what are some of the common lies that we're told about money in America or even beyond?
I would say investing is too risky and complicated. People shy away from investing because of that advice. I think in the long run, it's a lie. In the short run, yeah, market going down 30%. If you invested, let's say $1,000, you only have $700 in your investment account. Yeah, it is risky. But in the long run, what history has showed is that your investments will grow. Investment is too risky and complicated. It doesn't have to be complicated because we have platforms like Tengen, which basically has put the complications under the hood. If you open up the hood of a car, it's very complicated, but do you worry about it? You just get into the car seat and drive. So Tengen is like that. You just become a customer of Tengen and it drives on your behalf. You don't need to worry about the complications, right? So that's the first lie I would say is in the long run, it's not as risky and it doesn't have to be as complicated. Platforms will take care of it for you. The second is only rich people can build wealth. That's also a lie, right? Starting small drops make the ocean, right? The ocean doesn't become by itself. So you have small drops, but these small drops would compound and multiply in the investment cycle, invest platforms. So I would say only rich people can build wealth is another lie that you should not really be discouraged with. So you should invest and build wealth. And in my view, just again, following discipline, following a systematic process, following a market aware active investment style, you can build wealth, not only build wealth, but also become financially, you get the financial freedom, not to worry about next month's paycheck is everyone's desire. And that's something one can achieve when they are in the late 30s or even sooner if they're smart and they start using platforms like Tenjin AI.
Right on. And that reminded me the part about that only the rich could create wealth. I don't know if you ever heard of the postal worker, the UPS. I think it was either UPS or the post office. He never made over 60K, I think the number was, in his life, but he saved about 50% of everything he earned for 50 plus years. And he ended up with a fortune of 70 million.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly the proof to the point. Yeah, exactly. That's great.
Get in the market.
Yes.
Awesome. Now, what is it like, just to give some insight on your time at Morgan Stanley, but let's even say the financial world in general, something that a lot of people, it's this well regarded for many good reasons, right? There's a lot of smart people that go into the financial world and into big banks. What did you learn in your time there that is perhaps a different mindset that can help people who would never have access to something like that see the world in a different way, or even, you know, up their game in the terms of finance?
Sure. There are traditional houses, the big banks. They're taking cognizance of new age platforms like Tengen, for example, right? There are other platforms, so I won't name names, but there are a lot of new age platforms that is bringing the aspect of democratized investing for everyone, right? But the traditional banks, they have classes of investors, they are clients. They do need to serve the high-end clients, the high net worth individuals. So if you were to offer the same kind of sophisticated algorithms that Tengen is offering, you cannot charge the same kind of premium fees that high net worth individuals are going to be charged by them, because they have the brand value, which is worked over tens of years, maybe even 100 years in some cases, right? So that brand has got definitely a huge value, and high net worth individuals are going to come there. So if you offer the same platform, which is advanced, you cannot charge the same premium value from the high net worth individuals. So there's a conflict there, right? What do you do? The other aspect is their efforts can only be half-hearted, as they are afraid these platforms could cannibalize their other aspects of the business, right? Some big names have got a robo platform, but they're not full into it. They've got a half-hearted effort into it. And those robo platform is at best a systematic passive investment. They're not active investments like what Tengen is. Tengen is truly an active investment vehicle, whereas other robo platforms are not. So that's the other conflict that's there, is like when you have a huge market existing segment, you don't want to disturb that equilibrium there. But at the same time, the customers are becoming digital age, and you need to attract them so that you are positioned well for the next generation of customers. So they're taking cognizance of companies like Tengen and other such players. And that's basically what the big banks are trying to do. They're trying to become more digital, more attracting to young customers, and so on. I don't know how successful they are. I would say I don't want to name names here, but a lot of big names have not been too much successful in this regard, right? If you think of somebody who is systematic investment, you don't think of the big names. You think of a lot of other players, but not these big names. So I think that's where our opportunity is, because we are trying to make it completely digital, and we truly want it to be a democratic. We want to do something good for society. We want a lot more participants in the market to come into the marketplace, to invest in the market, and so on. So our share of the pie is more about acquiring new digital age customer, not necessarily to wean away the existing customers from those big banks.
And what is the emotional driver behind this for you? Because a lot of entrepreneurs, it takes a lot of energy to build a company, and you really have to be passionate, which I can tell you are. There's something driving you. And what is that?
Yeah, when you work in an investment company, you get exposure to a lot of different customers of yours who are on the high end, hedge funds, asset managers, and whatnot, and also the different kind of algorithms that employed by them. But ultimately, when you look at whether these are accessible to you as a client of a bank, you don't get access. I never got access to some of these sophisticated investments because of the level of investment. You can never be the HNI that the banks are attracting, right? But at the same time, when you look at the algorithms that's being designed for doing something smart, some of these things, even though we use AI a lot, this is intelligence about how to invest in different market climate. It doesn't have to be rocket science, but it's about just being smart and being active, not to put something in buy and hold kind of strategy. Oh, regardless of where the market is, I'm going to keep investing in the same product again and again. Not that style. That's passive style. So just being aware of the market. And if you did that, again, purely based on backtesting and purely based on math, the difference is huge. What you can achieve as an individual investor in these passive style is really small compared to what it would be if you just are smart, which big hedge funds, the family offices, and all those things have. And that's what we are trying to democratize. So I'm very passionate about bringing this technology to the forefront that can be accessed by anyone and everyone. You don't need a barrier to entry to get access to this. And we are very clear about it. Of course, there are certain investments that we say is the minimum of $10,000 for investing. That's not because we want to create a barrier. That's because of the number of assets that we are investing. It just doesn't make sense for us to invest like fractional shares on the list of assets that we invest in. So you need to have a decent size. That's where minimum threshold comes in. But the flagship investment that we have is called Cruiser, and the entry level there is $100. Can't go lower than that, because even for $100 we buy 6 or 7 securities there. So we want to bring down the barrier to entry for smart, sophisticated investment strategies. And we are very passionate as a team to bring it and make it available to everyone without any restriction whatsoever.
And what is your number one goal for the business right now?
Right now, it's about marketing. So we are very comfortable with the technology that we have developed. You can in fact link your external portfolios. If you're not ready to move your money into Tengen, you can just link it up with, say, Fidelity or E-Trade, Ameritrade, everyone, right? So we use something called Plaid, which basically uses a technology to transfer information about your external account. We don't control the account, but it's only a read permission. Basically, we find out what your investments are through this technology, and none of the credentials are being exchanged. It's only a token to exchange the information. There's no credential that's exchanged here. But anyway, if you link your external accounts with Tengen, Tengen will become basically a guardian of your investments, and it can advise on which of these securities is bad investments, what you need to replace that with. How do you improve the performance of your portfolio? We look at your portfolio in 6 different dimensions, in terms of fees, in terms of income, in terms of performance, in terms of diversification, and so on and so forth. So we look at multiple angles and we grade them so that everyone can understand. It's like taking your car to a mechanic and say, hey, tell me how my car is performing. And he'll give you a 16-point check and say, you need to change this, your oil, change filter, change the wiper blades, and so on and so forth. So he'll give you a full assessment of the car. So we do the same thing on your portfolio. We give you a full assessment of portfolio on these 6 different dimensions, and we grade them as A, B, C, and D. The areas where your portfolio needs improvement, we recommend what you need to do to bring it up to A, because all of your dimensions need to be A for you to have a good portfolio. And we measure all these things in a quantitative finance manner. These are algorithms that's proven to work over a period of time. The amount of risk you take for the kind of reward that you get, I don't want to overcomplicate it, but there is a lot of math that goes on behind it in terms of performance. And we recommend the portfolio that is very efficient and optimized. And so if you follow those guidelines, your portfolio will definitely go multiple notches up in terms of its performance. But that is a second feature that we have as part of Tengen. So the first feature is you can trust Tengen to do the investment. The second is you can ask Tengen to become your guardian of your portfolio, like an ADT of your portfolio. It has bells and whistles, what's going on in your portfolio every day. You get all your portfolios consolidated in one view in Tengen. And the third is Tengen is making all the research of top stocks, top ETFs that you can buy available in the platform. So you can pretty much subscribe for that data. If I'm a DIY investor, I like to do things on my own. I get the excitement all the research of what the best stocks at this moment in time to buy. And these are very good, highly accurate from an accuracy point of view. More than 60 or 70% of the list actually make money in there, give good solid return. But the art is in configuring a portfolio. For short-term buy, these are great. But if you have a retirement account, you want to construct it as a balanced portfolio, that's where really Tengen comes in. Tengen's managed portfolio comes in. So the individual names are available for subscription in Tengen. So those are all the things that is there. People can start off at whatever level they want. They want to be a DIY customer, just getting the research, or they want to link at all the accounts that they have externally, or they can do Tengen investments, or a combination of all these three. So you don't have to be precluded from one or the other. It's not like you have to be this or that. You can be this and that. So all three services are offered in Tengen, which is very unique to a platform like Tengen. There are not too many platforms that offers this wide array of services in the platform. So we are very comfortable with the technology offering that Tengen is offering. So our current focus is marketing it and getting this message loud and clear to people. So we are spending a lot of effort on creating marketing campaigns on Facebook and Instagram and so on and so forth. So this, in that regard, even forums like this where we can talk about Tengen so that more people get aware is what we are focused on right now.
Great. And I'm guessing one of the number one things we can do to support you is download the app. I have it up right here. Download the app, get signed up. What else can we do to support you?
So you can see all your investments in one place. So regardless of which one is being managed by Tengen, so you can actually see Tengen plus all the linked accounts externally. So this could be this one-stop investment central that can show you your net holdings, how it's doing in today's market conditions, et cetera, et cetera. So you can do a lot of details will be there. And then we also have updates that goes out from Tengen. And we have the news feeds that we talked about where we hand curate a content that the users can use and just be aware of what's going on in the market. So that is there. And you can use some useful features like wealth calculator. You can actually calculate your total wealth that would be with Tengen. If you start with your investments at $10,000 and you have a monthly additional investment, number of years to grow, what would this 10,000 look like in a 5-year period in this case? So you can increase the number of years and see how the growth trajectory changes and how you can plan ahead for like, where do you need to start to be at a certain point in a future, right? If you want to save for, let's say, buying a car or buying a house, what would you need to do to use Tengen? And you can see the difference in Tengen's return predicted, of course, versus the market return predicted. This is market return with historical returns of say 9%, even if you're an aggressive investor. Whereas Tengen is more than that, and that's where the difference comes in over a long period of time. Then you can look at the investments in terms of how your investments across the board are doing. And like I said, you can link your external portfolios and Tengen portfolio. This is today's performance, for example, where Tengen accounts only drop 0.17%. Then this is real data on some of the test accounts that we have. And in linked accounts, we have a drop of more than 1.10. When I say linked account, these are external accounts. So external account dropped with the market, and the market dropped today. 1.54 is S&P's drop, and NASDAQ has been dropping also. It's my 1.59%. So this externally linked account has dropped slightly less than the market. But look at how Tengen has preserved the capital. Only it's almost like no drop. It's almost flat, 0.17% drop. And that's a gain that Tengen is giving of not losing the capital or not losing the money. And then it gives you all kinds of retirement account details that you can link with. There are lots of alerts that is there in these accounts. You can link new accounts here by just clicking on the connect broker. This is what we talked about. You can connect to an external broker with an external service. We use Plaid. Tengen doesn't have any of your user ID, password details of any external account. It just exchanges token, and Plaid will give you the daily updates on your portfolio. And Tengen just basically gives you alerts and recommendations on those portfolios. So when we look at the recommendations, so I can click on a particular account and I can go for recommendation, and Tengen will say what I need to do to improve the performance of the portfolio. In some cases, the performance can be changed by the investor themselves. If it's a managed account, they cannot change the portfolio. So initially, the portfolio is ranked D. Now, with Tengen's recommendation, the portfolio can be ranked A because it will give you guidance on how to improve the portfolio by taking what steps. It'll say that action suggested, sell these number of securities and buy these different securities and so on and so forth.
Wow.
So it's very prescriptive, pointed action that you can take to improve the performance of the portfolio, right? Without moving the money. And ideally, we would like this money to be moved into Tengen so that we can actually do even better. It's an actively managed fund rather than passively managed portfolio.
That's
so
really
that's
cool.
on the linking of the account. And then the research that we talked about is Tengen's own research. So we have previously what we predicted, how much it has gone up before our predictions. Like we predict, and then the market has gone up 24% in this one security. These are individual names that's gone up over a historic period of time that we are predicting. And we do have some predictions that we say currently. Say, for example, this particular ETF, Turkey, has gone up 21% in the last 1 month. So these are like point in time advice. These advices change every week. So if somebody is subscribed to this investment research, they can actually take advantage of this information to benefit from the market movements and whatnot, right? Every now and then they do have negative return, but these are all negative return for that particular point in time. So overall, you can see that there's a significant growth. When the entire market is down, we're able to identify assets that actually is going to grow in value in that same period. So that's a huge contrast and whatnot. So that's basically, in a nutshell, we have investments, advice, and research, 3 different legs on Tengen as a.
Amazing. Thank you, Sham.
Sure.
I'm going to jump in on that for sure. So basically you just download that, signed up, you pick you pick the allocation and it's ready to go, or is there anything else that we should be aware of?
It's very simple. Exactly. You create an account, you create your investment risk profile, which is a series of questions that we ask, and then you transfer money, and we have all those facilities here. So suppose I go to investments, I want to add an account. I just create which strategy I want to choose. I choose this, and then it will take me to the interactive broker part of it. I just continue here, and I basically start with an account creation process. This entire process asks you a series of questions. Start a new account. I'm a resident of US, and do I want to start an individual account or an IRA account, etc. So you can actually click what you want to do, and then you can create the account and add funds and all those things.
You could open multiple accounts.
Multiple accounts. Yeah, you can have an IRA along with your individual. You can have multiple IRAs. Some investment accounts could be short-term focused. You can be more aggressive in some and less aggressive in the others. You can do what you want to do. So every account has its own risk profile in terms of what your objectives are. And that account will basically be tailored to a portfolio that caters to that risk profile of that account. Of course, there is an overall risk profile of an individual investor. So we don't exceed that barrier, but within that, if I'm an aggressive investor, but I want to be conservative in one part of my investments, I can be. So there's nothing that prevents me from doing it.
Well, and so to wrap this up, what is one major step, the first step that people can take to improve their financial results?
One thing I would say is switch from a passive style investing to an active style investing. I would love you to choose Tengen to be that platform. You can start by creating an account and moving some money into Tengen and then increasing it as you get more comfortable with the product, because the market is changing and the market is also providing new styles of investing. Thematic investment was not something that people were talking about before. Now you can have thematic because shape up in the market every now and then. Styles of investing, like different asset classes are coming up in the market. Crypto is a new class of asset that's in the last 5 years or so that's come in the market. Thematics like cybersecurity, cloud, EVs or electric vehicles. These are all themes that actually is shaping up the market. These are all the growth areas. Instead of saying I'm investing in technology-based platform, I could be investing in a thematic platform. And Tengen offers those kind of automated investing in themes that's shaping up. You don't have to be worried about it. Tengen takes care of that. So all the heavy lifting is done by Tengen. And all you have to do is just say, hey, I like this and I want to invest in this class of investment. And every month, in some cases every week, we do the adjustments to the portfolio so that you are always one step ahead of the market.
Makes me feel like I'm part of an exclusive club.
Yes, But we don't want to call it exclusive. We want everyone to be part of the Tengen bandwagon. So we don't want it to be exclusive to anyone. Yes, you can feel that way. You're definitely. We want more participants in the market, and we want more participants to be a smart, savvy investor with platform like Tengen. So we offer that savviness. You could be ahead of other investors. Obviously, one person has to win and other person has to lose, right? But across the board, society as a whole would be better off if a lot of people start investing and saving and whatnot. So that's our mission, is to bring more people onto an investment platform and more people in smart, sophisticated investment and not passive investments.
Well, I'm really excited about Tengen. Sham, thank you for being on Titans Up today. I'm going to sign up and set up my retirement account. That'll be my first. I see that on there.
All your audience to also participate. And currently we are offering a $25 reward for opening an account with $500 minimum. So if people want to take advantage of it, there's a time. And this is a limited time offer. Once we reach a certain number of customers, we'll stop it. But this is a great opportunity for people to get, if you invest $500 and get rewarded $25, that's a 5% return when the market is giving you negative return. So
it's a no-brainer to me. Sham, thank you for being on Titans Up today. See you in the next episode.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Jacob. Thanks a lot. Yeah.
Hey everyone, thank you for watching this episode of Titans Up today. What did you learn from it? Make sure to drop a comment below with your most valuable insight so that other people can engage in the conversation around what this speaker brought to the table. And then on another front, make sure to subscribe so that every time we drop a new episode, you will be notified. And that way you can keep fueling your dreams and your brain with fresh insights, which can help you along your journey and along your path to your goals. So thank you so much again, and I look forward to seeing you in the next interview.